Hi there, I'm Lotta, and today we're going to be talking to Amy Eriksen from eriksensforMe. And so one of the services that eriksensforMe offers is wealth management. So Amy's just going to cover that off for us and all the details on that. So Amy, what is wealth management? Tell us.
Yes. Okay. So financial advice is something that I believe everyone should have, and it can set you up on a great path. Wealth management is sort of that ongoing piece of the puzzle where if you have a certain amount of money, you'll want to have it in a portfolio that's diversified enough so that your risks are managed.
Yeah.
And managing that, the larger the sums of money get, the more diversification has to happen.
Okay.
And it can become, a bit of a full-time job. So that's why we offer a wealth management service. So you'd want to start with maybe $300K.
Yeah.
In New Zealand, that's probably about the time of investable assets or the amount of investable assets when it's going to make a difference.
Right.
And then we make sure that through a secure portal, you can access, you can transact anytime, you can access the performance anytime, you can approve the recommendations we do. And we sit on the other end and we make sure that the portfolio is performing as expected. In accordance with your plan, but also in accordance with our expectations based on the market. And we, I guess it's kind of like portfolio management,
right?
Treating your money as if it was a fund. And we make sure it's, working to the plan, but also getting you the gains that you need.
And so apart from having the 300,000, equity, which is required to, invest, what are some other times you would think, okay, now's the time to look at financial planning, but also look at my wealth management strategy?
Yes. I guess some of the key parts are at that stage where you're accessing your KiwiSaver.
Right, okay.
There's a bit of a question mark there. Do you keep it in the fund? Have your needs changed? And it's not cut and dried. It's not, I'm 65, let's take it all out and put it in cash. That would be usually not the best approach.
Yeah.
But it's a case-by-case basis. And the other thing would be if you're selling out of property, then you're likely to have a large lump sum. Even after you pay off the mortgage, there's usually a few $100,000 left over depending on your capital gains. And that is usually has no tax deducted from it. So then, what do you do with that? You probably don't want to put it all into your KiwiSaver because then it's almost inaccessible until 65. And therefore, you'd want to have it in a portfolio. And then what do you choose? That's when you'd want to go to a financial advisor because we know all the products.
Yeah.
We keep an approved product list. We do quarterly face-to-face meetings with all the fund managers.
Amazing.
We recommend. Yes. And that's kind of the access that you as an individual investor wouldn't be able to get. You can't call up a portfolio manager and ask about say when a war breaks out, you can't ask, what are your holdings in this? So therefore, it's important to have an independent financial advisor with a bit of scale.
Yeah.
And that really protects your wealth.
And so if I'm looking at different wealth management options and why would I come to someone like Eriksen's versus, I don't know, putting my money in like Fisher or Milford or some of the other funds, that I can do by myself?
Yes. So it's very hard to look at a fund and know what its performance is going to be in the future.
True.
You can know its performance in the past, you can know its fees in the past, but it's very hard to tell its value just by those metrics. So there's an information advantage to being a financial advisor. We get to meet with the portfolio managers, as I said. And then I would also say that there's also style differences. And some people, they think, I'll invest with this manager and I'll invest with a variety of products, but it's with the same manager. And it's a manager they trust, and I'm sure they're great.
Yeah.
But there's manager risk as well. Say if the FMA penalizes one manager, you might see outflows from almost all of their products. Wow. And that having to sell at a time that you don't want for the portfolio manager to provide the liquidity for the withdrawals, that could make the fund perform a little bit worse than that of a different fund manager. So you want to kind of diversify across managers, and then you need to know which managers are good and how do the products kind of complement each other. And that's why we go to school. That's why we study. That's why we work full-time jobs in investment analysis.
Yeah.
And unless you want to do that yourself, which you can, I love it.
Yeah.
It pays to have someone on your side who does that work for you.
Yeah. And I think something we've always talked about is it's really important to get a wealth management service that is quite independent. And also we don't take commissions. And I think for a lot of people that's kind of quite startling. And how does that actually work? So could you just talk to that?
Yes. In New Zealand, it's very common for a financial advisor to be paid commission. So if they recommend a product, they'll get like a trailing percentage of the funds that go into that product. Say they recommend a KiwiSaver, they'll get maybe 25 basis points, which is 0.25% of the fees over time. It's not a lot of money. And I think that New Zealand has a really quite reliable financial services industry. I don't think it sways their decision making particularly, but we as a firm feel it does add a layer of bias. So we prefer to work independently so we can recommend a portfolio. That said, the downside is the client pays for the advice. So we don't get paid by the fund managers, but the way we work as a business is we don't charge our clients if we can't add value. So before we start the letter of engagement process, we'll be making sure that we can actually add some value to their portfolio that will outweigh the fees that we would charge.
Oh, great. That is really helpful. So something also is there's obviously people that right now they've got their wealth management sorted. You know, they've got enough wealth to kind of keep themselves steady for the rest of, the time. Let's say I am a wealthy person. Why would I come to you if I feel like everything's managed really, really well? Yes.
Everyone has a bias. And whatever your portfolio is at the moment, there will be biases incorporated into it. So having an independent review at any time, usually on an annual basis, is just valuable. You can figure out the blind spots. You can use their expertise to see around corners. But if you're happy with the way it's tracking, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. So most people, and we really, this is a priority of ours, we will do an independent free review. So like a 15-minute portfolio checkup. I bang on about this all the time. I say, it doesn't cost you anything but 15 minutes of your time and 15 minutes of my time. And we just look at it. And if there's an opportunity for growth, we'll talk about it. But if there's not, then, you've got the peace of mind that your portfolio is set. And I would say on an annual basis, it's good to get these things done.
Amazing. I think that's covered enough of our wealth management service. But if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to our team. See you. Bye.
Bye.